was that piece of paper you handed over?
It's a marriage certificate between Jack Jackson and Julia Larrabee. Your Honor, Mr. Snyder used a fraudulent name and at the time was still legally married to my client.
Duly noted. The marriage between Jack Snyder, a.k.a. Jackson, and Julia Larrabee is not legal, therefore officially terminated.
I don't care what that paper says. You're still my wife.
Oh, he's furious.
We knew he would be.
Is this ruling just in Illinois? What if he goes to a different state?
He could go to Moscow. It wouldn't change anything. You're his wife in the eyes of the law.
For all the good it does me.
As to the matter of the false identification and the false filing of a marriage license, I'm referring prosecution to the state of Missouri.
Oh, Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, Mrs. Snyder.
That wasn't Jack's fault. As you know, up until a few days ago, we all thought he was dead. And as it turns out, thank God, he's alive. But he's suffering from amnesia. He can't be held responsible for what happened in Missouri. Certain people had taken advantage of him.
That's not true.
Mr. Snyder, please be seated. Your wife is making a valid argument in your defense. I advise you not to undermine your own interests.
Thank you, Your Honor. I hope that it's obvious to you now why my husband needs medical care. He was treated at a very small country hospital, and I'm grateful to them for helping him. But he needs the care of an expert neurologist. I want him to have all the tests that he needs. I want him to have the treatment that he needs so that he can remember his children, his friends, and his family. Please, Your Honor, please let me help him get his life back. Let me take care of him.
That's why we're here, Mrs. Snyder, to determine Detective Snyder's future. Miss Griffin, detective, are we ready to proceed?
Lieutenant Munson, in your efforts to locate your fellow officer and friend, Detective Snyder, did you have the opportunity to enlist the help of the St. Genevieve Police Force?
Yes, I did.
And would you please tell us what you discovered in your joint investigation?
That after the accident here in Oakdale, Jack was treated unsuccessfully for amnesia at the St. Genevieve Hospital, where he was living in that town under the name of Jack Jackson. We later learned that he paid a known forger for fraudulent identification, where he used that identification to obtain an illegal license to marry Julia Larrabee.
Lieutenant, in your experience, is this behavior consistent with what you would expect from Detective Snyder?
No, ma'am, absolutely not. As Your Honor knows from years of watching Jack testify in this very room, he is scrupulously law-abiding.
Thank you, Lieutenant. I'm finished with this witness.
Detective, any questions?
No.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Ms. Griffin?
I'd like to call Ms. Greta Williams.
How'd they find her?
Ms. Williams is the caseworker for the state of Missouri assigned to Detective Snyder's case. So, Detective Snyder left the hospital against doctor's orders.
Yes, he was still suffering effects of his injuries. In particular, he had no memory of his life before the accident. No idea who he was or where he'd come from.
Given his condition, why would he leave the hospital?
None of us could figure that out until we discovered where he was staying.
Wait a minute. Wait. Julia had nothing. I signed myself out of the hospital.
Then why did she hide the fact that you'd moved in with her?
Detective, if you wish to question this witness, you may do so after Miss Griffin has finished. Unless, of course, you have an objection.
Oh, yeah, I have an objection. I want to object to this entire circus. I'm fine, Your Honor. She's the one with the problem, not me.
Mrs. Snyder is not the issue, Detective. You are. Continue, Miss Griffin.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Williams, when you discovered that Detective Snyder had moved in with the nurse who was giving him care, what did you do?
I questioned her. She insisted that he'd recovered his memory.
Had Detective Snyder recovered his memory?
No.
So Nurse Larrabee lied to you about his condition?
Yes.
What did you do when you realized that she had lied about Detective Snyder's condition?
I recommended to her and Jack that he return to the hospital on an outpatient basis to continue his treatment. They chose to ignore my recommendation.
Dr. Harris, have you had the opportunity to review Detective Snyder's medical file from St. Genevieve's Hospital?
Yes, I have.
And what is your expert opinion of the care he received?
Well, given Detective Snyder's injuries and the seriousness of his complaint, overall, I'd have to say that his medical care was inadequate.
That's not true. We saved his life.
And then you stole his life.
Mrs. Snyder?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. But she's a nurse. She knew how sick he was, and you heard the social worker. She refused to get him treatment.
There's no treatment for amnesia, Carly.
No, there certainly isn't. Not when you don't want him to recover.
Of course you wanted me to recover.
She was in our house, Jack. She knew all about your life. She knew about me. She knew about the children, and she didn't tell you. She lied to you.
Not because I didn't want him to
How
recover.
can she be trusted to get you the proper medical care? She doesn't even want you to remember who you are.
I would never do anything
because
to hurt
she
him.
knows that if you do, you will leave her.
Enough! Or I'll throw you both out of this hearing. You've been given fair warning. Respect this hearing, or I'll cite you for contempt. I'll jail you if I have to. Understood?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Griffin, is there anything else you'd like to ask this witness?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Detective Snyder, any questions for the doctor?
Well, I'd like to say something. If it's allowed. I mean, everyone seems to get shots at me. I'd like to have equal time, if I may.
Your Honor.
Yes, what is it you'd like to say, Detective?
Look, I know I don't know who I used to be or what my life looked like, and I'm sure it was rough on everyone thinking I was dead. But let me tell you something. It wasn't exactly a picnic on my end. I was scared. I was lost. I was hurt and confused. But this woman, my wife, first she nursed me back to health, and then she gave me a reason to keep going. I got a job, started making plans for the future. I knew what I was doing, Your Honor, and yes, I recognize that I have obligations here. I have children, a daughter that I can't wait to get to know again. And Parker, I am no deadbeat dad. I'll do my part, but I resent feeling like I'm being punished and my family's being punished for something that's not my fault. I didn't choose to lose my memory. And I'm sorry for the pain that it's caused and the problems that it's caused. I'm begging you, please, don't make things worse. Please, Your Honor, let me keep what I have.
It is not the intention of this court to punish you, Detective. I remember you, Detective. And I have to say, I find you altered. And I cannot, in good conscience, allow you to abandon your history, which has such strong claims on you. So I'm granting Mrs. Snyder for temporary guardianship pending the outcome of physical and psychological exams. You are hereby ordered to return to your home in Milltown, where your wife, Carly Tenney Snyder, will oversee your physical and financial needs.
Jack, you absolutely.
I'm not doing it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
I sympathize with your situation, Detective. However, your refusal to comply only proves my point. You have forgotten the law. I will remind you. Defying a court order places you in contempt and forces me to issue a bench warrant for your arrest. You will be picked up and remanded to the state hospital for evaluation. I don't think anyone wants that to happen. We will reconvene in 30 days, at which time I will review the reports submitted by your various physicians. Dr. Harris. Dr. Harris?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'd like to be excused.
In a moment, Doctor. Would you be willing to oversee Detective Snyder's evaluation and treatments and report back to the court?
Yeah, I can. Is that all?
No. The bailiff will have some forms for you to sign at the conclusion of the hearing. So you may step down, though, Doctor. Thank you for your patience. Mrs. Snyder?
Yes, Your Honor.
Given the inherent tensions, I'm going to assign a court officer to accompany you when you pick up your husband.
Your Honor,
Yes?
would you allow me to accompany Mrs. Snyder?
Thank you, Lieutenant. Ms. Griffin, any other issues?
No, Your Honor, and thank you for your consideration.
Detective Snyder, anything you'd like to say?
It's not gonna change anything.
I hope you're wrong, Detective. This concludes our business here today.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, but this is only round one.
Yeah, I know, but at least Jack will get the testing that he needs. And with Ben overseeing his care, I know that he'll be able to do something to help him.
I hope so. Listen, call me if you need anything.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks. He loves you. And once he gets his memory back,
What if he doesn't? What if he never remembers?
he will. How could anybody forget you? Come on. You dragged him into court. You had a judge make him do something he didn't want to do. Hell, I'd be mad at you too, and I know who you are.
It's that woman. She's blocking his memory. Did you see the way she was hanging on his arm?
She's scared.
Well, she ought to be. She's messing with my family. She's messing with her own family. I hate to see what she's doing to her little boy, getting his hopes up, making Jack feel guilty. And just the thought of the two of them in bed together every night.
God, don't go
For
there.
all I know, she's trying to get pregnant. Anything to hold on to him.
Carly.
How long does it take to pack a suitcase, huh?
Carly. I understand how you feel.
No, Hal, I don't think you do. She's had enough time with him. He's mine.
Carly.
The judge wants me to see a doctor.
But why do you have to move out?
I'm not moving out. I'm not. I'm just gonna stay someplace else for a couple of weeks while the doctors figure out why I can't remember things.
Can't you come home at night?
Judge thinks it would help me if I stayed where I used to live.
That blonde lady?
But I'm gonna see you and your mom every day, every single day.
I'm gonna get your toothbrush and I want you to forgive me.
I need you to do something for me. I need you to keep your mom strong. You just keep telling her that everything's gonna be okay, that I love you and that I'm coming home.
Promise?
Nothing could keep me from you and your mom. I'll be back. Hey, this changes nothing. I love you.
I don't want you to go.
I don't want to go either, honey. We can handle this. We can handle this, right? JJ, a couple of weeks, because that's all it is.
It's gonna be fine, Mom.
I know, honey. We just have to be strong and keep busy.
That's right. And once the doctors get their act together, they'll see that I'm fine. And I'll be back. Just a second. Hey. It'll be okay. All right?
You about ready?
I love you. I love you too, buddy. Okay? I'll be back. I'll be back.
Daddy! Daddy, don't go! Daddy! Daddy, come back!
Honey,
Come back, Daddy! Daddy, come back! That blonde lady took Jack away, and she's never gonna give him back, is
Listen
she?
to me. The blonde lady, she loves Jack. She loves him too.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does. JJ, they lived together for a very long time.
And Jack forgot them.
I know. And that must be very hard for her. See, because you can't make somebody remember you, and you can't make somebody love you. And Jack loves us. So that's the thing you have to remember, okay? Jack loves us, and as soon as his treatments are over, he's gonna come back to us.
What if he forgets us, Mommy? Like he forgot the blonde lady.
That won't happen.
How do you know?
Because I just do. Jack loves us, babe. And we're gonna get him back.
Would you like to put your bag upstairs?
Look, I understand that you think you have some prior claim on me and that you're angry about the
Wait,
situation.
who's angry?
You dragged me to court?
What would you do, Jack? What would you do if your wife disappeared and you thought she was dead, and then she turns up married to someone else and she doesn't remember you? She doesn't remember her children. She doesn't even seem to care that she has a family who needs her and loves her. What would you do? I love you.
Can you please stop saying that?
But it's true. I love you. You love me.
Not anymore.
You see, that's why we're here. Because for you to say something like that to me just means there's something very wrong. For you to forget what we feel for each other, what we mean to each other. Jack, we were planning on having another baby before you disappeared.
You and me?
Yes, you and me. Who else?
Carly, I know what happened the night before our wedding. And that we didn't know the sage was mine until after she was born. So don't pretend that we had a perfect marriage, because we didn't.
What we had was beautiful and worth fighting for.
You do what you have to do, but know this. My heart belongs to Julia. And nothing and nobody is gonna change that.